If you're prepping to shoot in cold weather conditions, whether you're going to a cold destination or you're just preparing for a winter season, there's a lot of tools and tricks you can use to keep yourself comfortable and keep your camera comfortable when shooting in those conditions. Today we're going to walk through some of the tools and items that I use to keep myself warm and keep my camera running smoothly when shooting in this. Terrible day to forget a tripod too. Like, oh, you're on the back of my truck right now. Quick sidebar. We're not going to be talking about any specific cameras or big ticket items that are particularly good for the cold today, mostly because there are so many different metrics to measure that by and cold weather performance, and I don't expect you to buy a whole camera just for the weather. So these are just some helpful accessories, maybe gift ideas to help keep yourself warm and comfortable when shooting in these conditions. It's much warmer today than it was when I filmed the intro, so I don't have the big jacket and hat. But the first accessory we're going to be talking about is actually not really a winter accessory at all. It's honestly used more in the summer, I'd say. But it's extra useful in the winter because of snow. That accessory is a circular polarizer filter. So these things essentially work like polarized sunglasses in that they cut down glare and reflections. So if you're shooting car photography or something, then it'll cut down the glare on the windshield and make the picture look better and nicer. But what it's also very useful for, actually the sun's coming out and proving it right now, is cutting down glare on snow. There's a lot of different brands that make these filters. I honestly just use the cheap KF Concept ones because I treat my filters like absolute garbage, and I basically go through them as if they're disposable and expendable. They get scratched up so easily when I'm using them. So I use cheap ones, but there are some really nice ones out there that will get you super clear and super sharp images. But nonetheless, it's very handy to have one in your kit, even if it's just a cheap one in case you run into that situation. Now, keeping on the track of lens filters and changing temperatures, the next accessory is something that is almost invaluable to me, and that is a lens filter remover. Now, you can get these pretty cheap. I mean, at most camera stores, you'll buy a pack of 2 for 10 bucks or something, but you can get them dirt cheap online if you're willing to wait a long time for shipping. These are basically just little wrenches / pliers / grips that help you get lens filters off. Now again, these also work in the summer, but in winter you're gonna have rapidly changing weather conditions as you're shooting outside in freezing cold and then coming inside into nice warm temperatures. So if you screw a lens filter on in the cold when the metal's all shrunken and small, and then you go inside to the heat, the metal all expands, and now your lens filter is stuck on. Or the opposite can also happen, but either way, it sucks. The good thing is most filters have little ridges on them that the filter remover can grab right onto. So you just apply it right there, put some pressure on, and then twist, and it comes right off. So the next accessory we're gonna be talking about is the camera warm cover. It's basically a replacement for gloves if you're gonna be shooting all day. So if you know that you're gonna be holding your camera all day outside in the cold, this is kind of the best option. Keeps your hands warm, keeps your camera warm, keeps everything moving nice and smoothly, and you just basically gotta keep your hands tucked in there nice and cozy. So this is kind of handy if you're a person that doesn't like gloves, doesn't wanna always wear gloves, or if your camera's gonna be sitting out for a long period of time in the cold and you're concerned about it freezing or maybe having other issues because of the cold, fogging up or whatnot. This basically has 3M Thinsulate material all in it, which I love, and it keeps the camera nice and toasty. If you're gonna be leaving your camera out all night on a tripod or something, you can also unzip the bottom and fit a tripod plate in there. You can also then put like some hand warmers in here to keep it nice and toasty, which will stop your lens from fogging up or your camera battery from dying. It's also got these great little tab pulls all over it that kind of cinch down so that it doesn't have any gaps to let wind in. So there's one around the lens here, which works great. And then there's one around where each hand goes inside. So you can really lock yourself in there without any wind getting in, which is honestly really nice. And then it has this big screen on the back, which you can still actually use as a touch screen through it, which is just kind of super handy. This one is from PGYTECH. They sent this one to me, but they're not paying me, so. But it is good. Out of camera warm covers, it's the best one I've tried. Now, even if you are still concerned about leaving your camera out in the cold overnight, maybe it's -50, and you're pretty concerned about it freezing even in that camera cover, well, you can always stuff one of these inside. These are little chemical hand warmers. They last for an hour or two, you shake them up and they activate. These ones are Little Hotties, kind of a sus name, but the most common brand I'm aware of is Hot Hands. And basically, you just open them up, you take out the packet, you shake, and now it's nice and warm. It's already actually heating up right now. So you can stuff one of these inside of the warm cover for the camera, and this will keep your lens from fogging up, keep everything nice and warm and going, keep your battery nice and warm so it doesn't die. And yeah, these are honestly great. And they're also useful for other things, which we'll cover now. Okay, so the next item is probably the most important, and I've been wearing them through a lot of this video, and those are photography gloves. They're pretty standard. They're gloves where you can peel back the fingers. These ones are the PGYTECH photography gloves. I think this is the Master Edition. They sent me these as well, but again, they didn't pay me, and these are honestly fantastic gloves. Fantastic photography gloves, that is. Of course, with any photography glove, the fingers that fold back aren't gonna be as well insulated, so they are gonna get a bit chilly. But if you keep them closed, I find they are pretty darn good. Now, these ones also are heated electrically, so they each come with a little battery bank. You slip it in there. You can use it to charge your phone if you want, or you can power on the heating. And now the heating goes into the fingers and the whole palm and keeps everything very warm. And it's super effective, and it's like some weird carbon technology, not wires, so it's very consistent and very great. These ones are the Master gloves. They also have a non-heated version that are a little bit less bulky called the Professional series. I use those ones most of the time unless it's really cold. They're the same glove, just a little bit more slim, and they don't have all the bulk on them. So it's really nice for chilly days, but not freezing days. Now, if you are absolutely freezing, you can even get a little bit more warmth in your fingers by putting these mitt covers on. And these mitt covers, I'm not sure if they're heated. I honestly can't tell, but there is a lot of heat in there. Now, as kind of a tag on to the earlier segment, these have pockets in them. So you can open up the pockets, and if you want, if you're feeling a little bit chilly and you want even more warmth in your gloves, you can get some of these heat packs and stick them in the pockets to stay extra warm. So now not only do you have the battery powered heating in these gloves, but you have a chemical heater that you can swap out. And if the battery dies, you have even more heat still sitting there. Honestly, it's the best way to do it. It keeps you extra warm. And yeah, I think I'm taking these everywhere with me this winter. They are a must-have in my opinion. Now, if you want something cheaper, these again use 3M Thinsulate, as I said earlier, and I love 3M Thinsulate, but they're not the only brand that uses that, right? So Firm Grip uses it. If you're in a pinch and need some warm winter gloves, go to your nearest Home Depot. They carry Firm Grip gloves, and they have the winter insulated ones. They're super lightweight, thin, and workable. They're not super bulky, so you can still use your camera with them. And they're like 15, 20 bucks. They're not super expensive, and they stay very warm. They do wear out pretty quick. They're not as durable, I find, as these, but they're still really great. And if you're afraid of losing these gloves, they also come with little wrist straps. So if you do want to take them off, you don't have to fully take them off. But yeah, these are honestly, I think, the best gloves I've ever owned. They are super warm. They're super versatile. I'm always taking the fingers off and freezing my fingers, but being able to use stuff, not having to take my gloves off when I want to use my phone. You can also use your phone with the fingers on. It's just always easier. I prefer taking the fingers off. And they also have a cinch down little pull tab that really seals them off against your wrist. So there is no cold air or snow getting in through that gap. It is super tight, super sealed. And if you pair it with a jacket that works well, then you are honestly set. You are staying warm. Okay, so these next couple things aren't really camera accessories as much as they are just things you might already have. So they're just gonna be a quick little fire section here. These are basically just little things that I've kind of had around the house and I find useful. So the first thing is a cheap set of ski goggles, non-polarized, just the cheapest you can get on Amazon for like 10 bucks. These things are super handy. You can pair them with a ski mask. If you're shooting in very cold blizzard conditions or really just cold weather where it's super windy, throw these in your face. You can see super clearly at them. Because they're not polarized, you'll see your screen very easily because most camera screens are actually polarized. They're super cheap, comfortable, and flexible. They don't fog up, and they just keep your face warm. I never really use these for photography. I've used them twice, but you know what? It's handy when you have them, so just it's a thing to be aware of. Okay, so this next thing isn't really an accessory. It's just kind of something that you probably know about, but you might not. And if you don't, it's very handy to know about. Most low pro bags, actually a lot of camera bags, not even just low pro, they will have hidden compartments in the bottom where you can pull out a rain cover. Now this rain cover is like a raincoat kind of material, and you can just put it up and over the bag. I use mine to stop my bag from getting dirty a lot of the time, which is why my rain cover is pretty dirty. But they're super handy. I find that the snow kind of glides right off this material. So if it's snowing heavily, if you're in a snowstorm, or if you just don't want to get snow everywhere, putting this on your bag is super helpful. It also stops all the ridges and gaps in your backpack from picking up snow. So you're not like lugging around snow with you. It doesn't melt and get all your gear wet. It doesn't blow in the wind and get the back of your neck soaking wet and freezing cold. It's just handy to have. And you can even put it down on the ground, face down, without getting any of your gear snowy or wet. If you have one of these clamshell bags and you can open it, access your gear, it works great, honestly. Definitely suggest trying that out when you're in the snow. Now, the last bit of kit that I find essential to have with me literally 24/7, and I have since I got one for the first time, probably 4 years ago when I joined IATSE 873 in Ontario in the film industry, a Leatherman Multitool. I could honestly put this in any video talking about accessories that I think are good to have because it works with every season, every application. It is always essential to have. It is so darn helpful. For one, it's super easy to use and access with gloves. It opens up very easily, especially with those photography gloves. You can pull your fingers out and you can actually access all the small little bits. Now, there are a million different uses for a Leatherman Multitool. And I say Leatherman because they're the best, honestly. They've got like a 25-year warranty. They have so many different options. This is the Signal. This is what I use. I think it's small enough and it has a pocket clip, which I absolutely love. I've carried this one on me myself for about 3 years now, and I think it is the most helpful thing I have in my kit. Now, as I said, there are a million uses for this thing. Some specific winter things I've used it for in the past. Grabbing stuff when you don't have a lot of dexterity with gloves on or your hands are freezing cold. Using these as a very dexterous way to grab stuff, super helpful. Cutting branches of trees or bushes. If you're taking a picture of landscape and you've got a tree branch in the way, quick little snip, that branch is gone. If it's a bigger branch, you got a saw built in so you can cut that right off. Actually, on this road about a year ago, I chopped a tree in half that had fallen down the road. A small one, probably about Christmas tree size and diameter of the trunk. But I cut the tree in half with the saw on this because it was blocking the road, picked the tree up and moved it. This is just so handy to have. It even has a built-in hammer on it. So it's built to bang into stuff, which is just super handy. There's a lot of times that gear gets stuck or cold, whether it's a light stand or a tripod, and hitting it hard with a chunk of metal honestly does the trick 99% of the time. So yeah, I would definitely say that the Leatherman is the most useful tool I have in my kit, full stop, year round, every day. I even bring it with me to the grocery store. I use it every single day. So those are the best winter camera accessories, in my opinion, that you can buy for cold conditions. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. Leave a comment if you have any questions. If you think I said anything wrong, be sure to point that out down below and I'll pin your comment so we're all on the same page. If you're interested in buying any of these products, they are linked down below, probably referral links so I can get your money. If you like this sort of content, be sure to subscribe. That way I get a bigger number on my page and that will feed my ego. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care. I will see you next time.